Hel- Hello, welcome to the broadcast today. I'm Davina. I'm just here to have a quick chat because State of the Union's on tonight. President Biden will be addressing the nation to give an accounting of the accomplishments of this administration in a unprecedented historical context of being post an insurrection attempt, a violent attempted overthrow of the government, post, I would say, a purposeful erosion of America's pandemic response by President Trump, who hoped to consolidate his reputation as being someone prepared to stand up to authorities and be popular by saying that teachers and doctors and scientists and researchers are all wrong. And you can really see that Trumpian approach mirrored in Ron DeSantis, who's got his low-key efforts to establish himself as a candidate for the president in the GOP primary race by making as much media appearances for himself as he can, getting notoriety for standing up to wokeism. That is to say, harnessing the fault lines of racism and sexism and general opposition to modernity and social progress in the United States. Ron DeSantis keeps railing about zombie studies, which is a made-up complaint, but you can really see him get a lot of laughs at various intervals when he trots out that same line that students today are pursuing zombie studies in colleges. I wanted to point to someone who's going to be a guest of Speaker Pelosi, former Speaker Pelosi, at the State of the Union address today, because we do owe this officer, and well, I think he's had to retire from the injuries he sustained on the January 6th attack. So yes, we do owe an incalculable debt to him and all the officers who held the line that day. So let's have a look at his full name so I can try and get it right. Staff Sergeant Gonell, and his first name Aquilino. Defended the US at home and abroad. So he's both a veteran and a veteran of one very specific infamous day. Yes, so the fascist authoritarian members of the Republican Party will struggle to welcome him. Many people in the Republican Party, legislators, opposed awarding medals of honor to those officers who over 150 officers were injured. I previously used to use the number 140, but I saw recently an updated account that said 150 officers sustained injury on that day, to say nothing of the invisible but still highly significant emotional and psychological injuries sustained by officers who found themselves in the unfathomably difficult position of being called traitors for defending the United States Capitol against attack from its own citizens who had been hyped into a state of irrational rage against the seat of governance in the United States, or the seat of one of the three branches of governance. So thank you, Sergeant Aquilino Gonell, and I hope I'm doing your name justice. In other news, before I go, I would like to point out that some neo-Nazis have been arrested for planning an attack on the electricity grid of Maryland. So they wanted to wipe out all of Baltimore by having a concerted firing, use of ammunition, use of guns to take out various substations and cause a series of rolling blackouts that would take out all of Baltimore. So they were in prison. Some of this attack was planned while some of them were in prison. They met whilst they were both in prison. They blabbed accidentally to an undercover informant last month that they planned to sabotage power stations in Maryland. I'm just going to read through this article with you guys quickly before I go. And thank you also to any replay viewers who might watch this as well. So 27-year-old, I'm not even going to say his name because who wants to add to the notoriety pile that they accrue through their neo-Nazi intentions and activities. But yes, he had a girlfriend. They're accused of plotting to shoot up 5 substations that serve the Baltimore area. And they told the federal informant that that would completely destroy Baltimore. So they're facing up to 20 years in prison for the fourth one. And first court appearance will be on Monday in Baltimore Federal Court. Oh, so that was probably next Monday, probably next Monday. All right, unless it was this Monday. But yes, he's a neo-Nazi. The man is a neo-Nazi leader who founded a far-right Nazi group called Atomwaffen, had been jailed in 2018 for keeping lethal bomb-making materials in his apartment. So wouldn't it be nice if he had a longer jail sentence for having bomb-making materials with the intention to bomb people? So Atomwaffen has been known to threaten journalists, black churches, and Jewish organizations. And the people who joined Atomwaffen have been guilty of literally killing people because of their either religious affiliation, i.e. being Jewish, or their racial and ethnic background, being black. So they two hit it off while incarcerated, allegedly teamed up to attack power stations once out. The lead agent at the FBI's Baltimore field office called the couple racially or ethnically motivated extremists. Yes, well, they are Nazis, and they wanted to hit power stations after a winter storm when people are using max electricity. They told the informant their goals were to lay the city to waste. I just want to point that out because my central thesis, which you might be familiar with if you've seen this channel before, is that racism is a national security threat, as well as a dysfunctional coping strategy at an individual level for people trying to minimize their anxiety and their hurt pride. Racist ideas are often unconscious and habitual, and look, all of us to a degree are marinated in racist ideas because of just a reflexive defensiveness of our society and the forces and dynamics that have shaped our society. And America was founded to a large degree, its wealth, its geopolitical might, on the incredible profitability of enslaving people along racial lines. So saying racial and ethnic lines, saying we can import human beings from a different continent, identify them by their skin color and say, yes, back it up with fabricated religious theology to say, God has deemed us to be worthy of being master and deemed them collectively to be worthy of being slaves, as a way to sell immoral, exploitative activity to the people who propped up that system. So yes, racism, it's a national security threat because racist people want to punish Baltimore for existing. They want to punish America for its diversity, and in order to advance their goal of achieving either homogeneity in society, i.e. everybody being white, or at least what would be to them a more satisfying hierarchy of white dominance and other color subservience. So that's why it's really important for white people to speak up, just to be reassuring, to say not all woke people, not all anti-racist people are little communist tankies who praise Putin and want to overthrow modern capitalism. There are a lot of decent people out there who understand that teaching history accurately, letting people know about the various undulating waves of social progress, civil rights achievements, and then backlash have occurred fairly regularly across human history and across specifically the history of the United States. And we understand that in order to minimize the harm done by backlashing intent nihilists and racists, we have to condemn racism. We have to be prepared to identify and speak out against racist practices and ideas, so that those people don't gain so much power in society that they can cause harm, cause targeted harm to the ethnicities and the racial groups they have decided to despise, but also more broadly speaking, the harm that racist Nazis can do to all of society. It's a very important thing. That's all from me today, though. I've got to go. Take care. Cheers, and look after yourselves and each other. Peace out.